Arnold Schwarzenegger was told his accent was too strong, his body was too strange. His name was too hard to pronounce. Hollywood looked at him and saw a problem. Arnold looked at himself and saw an opportunity. Within years, the man who supposedly didn't fit became one of the biggest movie stars on earth. But that wasn't the most unlikely transformation of his life. Stay until the end, because Arnold would later walk into a completely different world where almost nobody expected him to belong. And when there too, Arnold arrived in America with a bodybuilder's physique, a thick Austrian accent, and a name studio executives believed audiences would struggle to remember. So what was the obvious strategy? Change the accent, change the name, change the body, become more Hollywood. Arnold did almost the opposite. He leaned into what made him different. The body became the brand. The accent became recognizable. The name became impossible to forget. And when Conan the Barbarian arrived, Hollywood suddenly had to reconsider. Then came the Terminator. A role with relatively little dialogue, and one line that would become immortal. "I'll be back." The accent people said would destroy his career, helped define it. But Arnold still wasn't satisfied. Action movies made him famous. But success can become another kind of trap. Once Hollywood decides what you are, it usually wants you to stay there. Arnold was the giant, the machine, the warrior. Then he decided to do comedy. It sounded ridiculous. Twins, kindergarten cop. Suddenly the man built like a superhero was trying to make people laugh. And it worked. That mattered because Arnold had discovered something powerful. Every time someone tried to define him, he could make that definition smaller than his ambition. Bodybuilder, actor, comedy star. Surely that was enough. It wasn't. This is where the story becomes almost absurd. In 2003, Arnold Schwarzenegger announced that he was running for governor of California. Not mayor, not city council. Governor of one of the largest economies in the world. He had never held elected office. He was known primarily for bodybuilding and movies. And once again, people said no. They called him a celebrity candidate. A stunt. Someone who didn't belong in serious politics. Then Californians voted, and Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor. The same man once told his name was too strange for Hollywood, was now signing laws under that name. At this point, it would be easy to tell this story as a list of achievements. That misses the point. The real pattern in Arnold's life is simpler. Every environment offered him an identity. Bodybuilding said, "Be the champion." Hollywood said, "Be the action hero." Politics said, "You don't belong here." And Arnold kept responding the same way. Why should someone else decide what I'm allowed to become? That mindset explains more than the trophies, more than the movies, more than the elections. And it also explains why his story contains failure. Because reinvention isn't clean. Some movies failed. Political decisions were criticized. His personal life included serious mistakes. Arnold has publicly acknowledged failures that damaged people close to him. That matters, because resilience is not the same thing as perfection. Remember the promise from the beginning? Becoming a movie star wasn't the most unlikely transformation. Becoming governor was. A teenage bodybuilder from Austria, with an accent people mock, eventually stood in California's capital as its governor. Not because every critic was wrong about everything. Not because every choice he made was brilliant. But because Arnold repeatedly refused to let one version of himself become the final one. And maybe that is the real secret behind his career. He never treated success as a destination. He treated it as permission to ask, "What else?" They said no sounds like a motivational slogan, but Arnold's life reveals something harder. Sometimes, no is useful information. Sometimes you need to improve. Sometimes the critics are right. And sometimes, they simply cannot imagine a version of you that doesn't exist yet. Arnold didn't defeat every obstacle by ignoring reality. He trained, he learned English, he studied business, he learned acting, he learned politics. The confidence came with work. That's the difference. He didn't simply believe he belonged. He kept building the person capable of belonging. And each time the world caught up, he moved again. bodybuilder, movie star, governor, businessman, advocate. One life could have been enough. Arnold kept choosing another. If this story changed how you see Arnold Schwarzenegger, stay with us. Because See Beyond the Spotlight is about the part success stories usually leave out. The rejection, the price, the decision, and the moment everything changes. Subscribe now, because the next person we uncover also reached a level of success almost nobody thought possible. And the hardest part of their story began after they made it. Tell us in the comments, who should we uncover next? Then watch the next story on screen. Every legend has a story. We uncover the one the world rarely sees.